Okay, in previous lecture, we have seen sensible heating and sensible cooling. What are those processes? Heating is done without addition of moisture, that is sensible heating. And sensible cooling is the heat is extracted from the air without change in moisture. Okay, moisture means we are considering here specific humidity omega. That is called sensible cooling. Okay, now based on sensible heating and sensible cooling, we saw a concept of coil bypass factor, CBPF, or it is also called bypass factor, BPF. Now based on this bypass factor and the concept which we studied for sensible heating and sensible cooling, we have to solve this numerical. Okay, I'll read the question. 1.2 meter cube per second of air at 15 degrees Celsius and 90% RH is heated to 50 degrees Celsius without addition of moisture. Now here this line is important. What is written here? Without addition of moisture, that air is heated. So what is meaning of this? The process is sensible heating. Okay, so I'll draw a diagram here so that you can understand the setup. So suppose this is a duct. In that duct we have a heating coil. Air at entry, suppose that point is point number 1, and air at exit, it is at point number 2. The surface temperature of coil, this temperature, suppose that is Ts. Now what is the inlet condition mentioned over here? 1.2 meter cube per second of air. 1.2 meter cube per second. What is this data? Mass flow rate, it is kg per second, and volume flow rate, it is meter cube per second. Okay, so this 1.2 meter cube per second, that is volume flow rate given. So at point number 1, V dot A1 is equal to 1.2 meter cube per second. Next, temperature of that air is 15 degrees Celsius. Now here nothing is mentioned. We have 3 temperatures: dry bulb temperature TD, wet bulb temperature TW, and dew point temperature TDP. Then RH is given as 90%. Now obviously since RH is not 100%, TD is not equal to wet bulb temperature, is not equal to dew point temperature. All the temperatures will be different because RH is not given as 100%. So here this temperature whatever is given, if they don't mention anything in the question, we have to consider it as dry bulb temperature. So TD1 value, it is 15 degrees Celsius. RH of 0.1, it is 90%. So this is at the inlet of the duct. Then here heat is added in the air without addition of moisture, meaning this process is which process? Sensible heating. So this is sensible heating. Next data we will see. Heated to 50 degrees Celsius, meaning outlet temperature. Again here which temperature it is not mentioned, so that will be, you have to consider it as dry bulb temperature. So TD2 is 50 degrees Celsius. Okay, now dry bulb temperature, this data has been given for 0.1 and this data has been given for 0.2, and we know that the process is sensible heating. Why? Because it is heated, air is heated without addition of moisture. What we have to find? We have to find all these things. Okay, so we'll calculate this one by one. What is the first question asked? We have to calculate heat added. Now heat added, what is the equation of this? We have seen in the theory part. Q dot A is equal to mass flow rate of air, dry air, into higher enthalpy minus lower enthalpy. Higher enthalpy is H2, lower enthalpy is H1. This is the equation. Now in this equation, we don't know m dot dA, we don't know H2, we don't know H1. Okay, now we will get all these values from psychrometric chart. So we'll go to the psychrometric chart, remember these values at inlet and this value at outlet. So I'll go to the psychrometric chart and explain you how to plot this. Now observe this psychrometric chart. X-axis we have dry bulb temperature. These curves are relative humidity. It starts with 10% and reaches, this curve is 100% RH. Okay. Now horizontal line, if you consider, wherever it intersects the right side y-axis, that is moisture content, omega. Unit of that is kg per kg of dry air, kg of water vapor per kg of dry air. Now wherever this horizontal line intersects the saturation curve, there we can read TDP, dew point temperature. Vertical lines are dry bulb temperature lines. And inclined line, if you see, for example, this inclined line, wherever it intersects the saturation curve, that is wet bulb temperature. So for this point, what will be wet bulb temperature? This is 15, 16, 17. So this wet bulb temperature will be 17 degrees Celsius. Now if you take the same line, suppose this line is there, and extend it beyond the saturation curve, here you can read specific enthalpy value. Okay, this is about psychrometric chart. Okay, now specific volume lines, these are specific volume lines. You can see the unit over here, meter cube per kg. So these are specific volume lines. Now what is the condition given? Point 1, dry bulb temperature is 15. Okay, so 15 meaning this will be dry bulb temperature 15, and second data RH is 90%. Okay, so 90% RH, this is the curve. So at the intersection you will get point number 1. Now second data, this is sensible heating. So from 1 to 2 process will be horizontal, and point 2 dry bulb temperature, it is 50 degrees Celsius. So from this point you have to travel in horizontal direction till 50 degrees Celsius. Okay, here we have, this is 50 degrees Celsius. So this point will be point number 2. Okay, so 1 to 2 the process will be towards right. So I have plotted this on psychrometric chart. We'll go through the process here. So 15 degrees Celsius and RH is 90%. So this is point number 1. Okay, here you can see I have written point number 1. Then what is the point 2 temperature given? 50 degrees. So just extend this 50 degree, draw horizontal from point 1, wherever they intersect, that will be point 2. So here you can see I have shown point 2. Now you have to show the process by arrow. That arrow is very important. So 1 to 2, you can see arrow is towards right. It indicates that this process is sensible heating. Okay. Now what is asked in the question? We have to find out Q dot A. For that, what is the equation? M dot dA, mass flow rate of dry air, into H2 minus H1. So we have to read enthalpy of point 2. So just take the roller scale, draw parallel to this incline from point 2. Wherever it intersects the specific enthalpy scale, there you have to read the value of enthalpy. Now here you can see this value is 75, this is 76, and this is 77. So H2 value I have read 77 kilojoule per kg of dry air. Similarly, you have to read value of H1, point number 1, which is located over here. So how to read this value? Again, these are wet bulb as well as enthalpy lines, specific enthalpy lines. So keep roller scale over here, draw parallel from point 1. Wherever it intersects the scale, that there you will read the value of enthalpy of point 1. Okay, so here you can see this value, it is H1 is equal to 40 kilojoule per kg of dry air. So enthalpy value we have calculated. Now H2 is known, H1 is known, okay, but M dot dA is not known. Now how to calculate M dot dA? Understand that. Okay, so I'll write down some equation over here. What is density? Density is equal to mass upon volume. Okay, now this can be written as density equal to mass flow rate upon volume flow rate. Now what is specific volume? Specific volume is volume per unit mass. Okay, so if you consider density, okay, here if you check this equation, what you can write, 1 upon density will go on right hand side, is equal to volume upon mass. This will be equal to specific volume. So basically what I can write over here is the specific volume. Okay, 1 upon density can be replaced as specific volume. Okay, same thing we have to do over here. Okay, so in this equation we have density on left hand side, so we can replace it by 1 upon specific volume. So 1 upon specific volume is equal to mass flow rate upon volume flow rate. So finally what I can write here, I can write, we have to calculate mass flow rate, right? So m dot dA, which is there in the numerator, it is equal to volume flow rate divided by specific volume. So volume flow rate divided by specific volume. So this is the equation which we have to use. Now volume flow rate of 0.1 is given in the question. In order to calculate m dot dA, we should know what is specific volume of 0.1, and that can be read from psychrometric chart. So here you can see these lines. Okay, observe these lines. This is 0.75 meter cube per kg. This is 0.8 meter cube per kg. This is 0.85 meter cube per kg. Then this one 0.9 and this one is 0.95. Okay, so what you need to do, 0.1 is over here. Keep roller scale at this line, on this line, and draw parallel from 0.1. Okay, so you will get a line like this. Now this value of specific volume, it is 0.8, this value is 0.85. Here you can see I have divided this 0.8 to 0.85 in 5 equal parts, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85. Okay, and according to that I am getting specific volume approximately, okay, because this is graphical method. So approximately that value I am getting as 0.83, specific volume of 0.1. Now using all this data, we have to calculate that Q dot A. So I'll go back to the numerical part. Okay, so first question is heat added. Okay, what will be the equation of that? First question is Q dot A, heat added, and second, in that only second part is specific humidity of air. Now that specific humidity of 0.1 and 0.2, it will remain constant. Why? Because it is sensible heating. So we have to calculate omega value. That we have to just read from psychrometric chart. Okay, omega 1 will be equal to omega 2. So Q dot A is equal to m dot dA into H2 minus H1. Okay, now m dot dA, how to calculate this value? M dot dA, it will be equal to, we have seen the equation of m dot dA, right? We have derived this. It is V dot A1, volume flow rate of 0.1 upon specific volume of 0.1. Volume flow rate of 0.1, it is given in the question 1.2 meter cube per second. So 1.2 divided by specific volume of 0.1, V1 is equal to 0.83 meter cube per kg. This we have read from where? Psychrometric chart. Okay, so substitute that value in the denominator, 0.83. So you will get mass flow rate of air. Okay, now we have to calculate Q dot A. Already we have read the value of enthalpy. So I will substitute those values. Q dot A is equal to mass flow rate of air 1.2 divided by 0.83, unit will be kg per second, into H2. H2 value, it was 77, minus H1 value, it was 40. So if you calculate this, you will get Q dot A is equal to 53.49 kilojoule per second. This is first answer. In that we have to also find out what is omega value. Okay, so omega is equal to omega 1 is equal to omega 2. Why? Because this is sensible heating. So specific humidity, it will remain same. So we'll go back to the psychrometric chart. Okay, extend this horizontal sensible heating line on y-axis. You will be able to read the value of specific humidity. Now see the scale over here. This is 0.009 and this is 0.010. In between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total 5 divisions are there. So this will be 0.0098 and this is 0.01. So in between this, approximately that value will be 0.0099. So I can write down that value from psychrometric chart. So omega value, it is equal to 0.0099 kg of water vapor per kg of dry air. From where we got this? From psychrometric chart. So this is about first question. We will see the second part. Second part is initial and final wet bulb temperature. Initial and final meaning we have to find TW1 wet bulb temperature of entering air and TW2 wet bulb temperature of exiting air. Initial and final WBT. So we have to again go back to the psychrometric chart. Observe this now. We'll see the process first. This is the process 1 to 2. Now inclined lines, wherever it cut the saturation curve, those are wet bulb temperature. So point 1, you can see point 1 is over here. Okay, and this is the inclined line near to point 1. So keep your roller scale parallel to this line and draw parallel from point 1. Wherever it cuts the saturation curve, that will be wet bulb temperature. Okay, now we'll read the value of wet bulb temperature. This is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. So this is approximately, I'll write down 14.1 degrees Celsius. So that is about TW1. Okay, now we'll see TW2. We have already drawn the enthalpy line over here. Okay, just zoom this part and see this. This is 25 and this wet bulb temperature line, it will be 26. So approximately if you see this point, it is 25.1 you can consider or 2 you can consider. I am writing that value as 25.1. So answers we have to read from psychrometric chart. Okay, so second question, it is about wet bulb temperature. Okay, so wet bulb temperature value I have calculated. I have read the values of wet bulb temperature. TW1, it is 14.1 degrees Celsius and TW2, it is 25.1 degrees Celsius. Okay, now definitely there will be some variation here that is acceptable. When you read the answers, there will be some variation. Next question, final RH. Okay, final means point 2, we have to calculate RH2 or we have to read RH2. Okay, so go back to the psychrometric chart. Point 2 location is this one. This is point 2 and these are relative humidity curves. So this is 10%, this is 20%. So relative humidity of point 2, it will be in between 10 and 20. Now you can locate the midpoint of the 10 and 20, that will be 15, and then again divide it in 5 parts. Okay, so approximately I am getting that value RH is equal to 13%. Okay, so it can be 13.5 as well for a few students. It depends on how you exactly are able to divide this 10 to 20%. Okay, so approximately I am getting that RH2 value as 13%. So I'll write down that value. Okay, you might also get that 13.5. It depends, that is okay. Some deviation is allowed. So third question I'll write down. Third is RH2. So RH2 value is equal to 13%. Then next question, we have to find surface temperature of coil. Okay, we have to find TS if bypass factor is 0.1. Okay, so I'll write down this and calculate this. So in order to calculate sub question number 3, what is that? Surface temperature of coil. Okay, I'll draw the heat exchanger temperature versus length diagram. So this is temperature versus length diagram. Higher temperature, TS, surface temperature, it is remaining constant. So here we will be having TS, and at entry, okay, if you see the setup, at entry we have TD1 and that temperature increases up to TD2. So TD1 to TD2 there is increase in temperature. So what will be the coil bypass factor or bypass factor equation? It will be, I can write down bypass factor BPF or CBPF, coil bypass factor, it is equal to TS minus TD2 divided by this temperature difference, TS minus TD1. Now bypass factor, it is given in the question, it is 0.1 equal to surface temperature we have to calculate minus TD2 is 50 given in question, and surface temperature again we have to calculate, and TD1 it is given in the question 15 degrees Celsius. So here only unknown is TS, and that surface temperature we can calculate, it is 53.88 degrees Celsius. Now what is meaning of this? Understand that we have surface temperature of coil which is 53.88 degrees Celsius. Air is entering at 15 degrees Celsius, but due to bypass, what is meaning of bypass? We have coil over here, okay, and air is entering over here, exiting from this end. Now since due to certain reasons like the number of rows in the coil, they are not greater, okay, velocity might be different, and all the air is not able to come in contact with coil. So some air it will be untouched and it will bypass the coil. So because of that we have this bypass factor. Okay, so from there what we calculated, if this is the bypass factor of the heating coil, then what should be the surface temperature maintained, so that if air is entering at 15 degrees Celsius, at outlet we get 50 degrees Celsius temperature. That we have calculated. Next data we will see what is asked in the question. Efficiency of coil if surface temperature is 55. Now in this case, question number 4 we have calculated what is surface temperature, that was 53.88. Now in question number 5, here surface temperature it is given as 55, means TS value is 55, and if surface temperature is 55, then what is the efficiency of coil, that we have to calculate. What is efficiency of coil? It is 1 minus bypass factor. Okay, so we'll calculate this part. So sub question number 4, it is efficiency of coil if surface temperature of heating coil is maintained at 55 degrees Celsius. So again we have to use the equation of bypass factor. So efficiency of coil, it will be equal to 1 minus bypass factor, equal to 1 minus, what is bypass factor equation? T surface, okay, same equation we have to use, but surface temperature is known, which is 55, and we have to calculate what? Efficiency. Okay, so I'll write down the surface temperature value. So it is 55 minus TD2 temperature, it is 50, divided by surface temperature again 55 minus inlet dry bulb temperature, it is 15. Okay, so from here you will get efficiency of coil, it is 0.875 multiplied by 100, efficiency of coil, it is equal to 87.5%. Okay, this is about the efficiency of coil. Next question we will see. This is a bit tricky question. Here we have to use steam table. Okay, understand the question properly. Mass flow rate of steam in heating coil. Okay, so this heating coil, in this heating coil we are supplying steam. Okay, so suppose this is entry and that is denoted by point A. So steam is entering here and it is exiting at point B. We have denoted the points. Okay, what is given here? Mass flow rate of steam in heating coil. So we have to calculate what is mass flow rate of steam to be supplied in this heating coil if saturated steam enters at 100 degrees Celsius and leaves at 80 degrees Celsius. Okay, so steam is entering as saturated steam. So I'll write down the data. Steam is entering at 100 degrees Celsius and that is saturated steam. Okay, now once the steam rejects the heat, what will happen? It will condense. Okay, and if the point B temperature is same, then it will be saturated liquid. But here point B temperature, what is that? 80. So it will be subcooled water which is coming out of the tube. Okay, so this will be 80 degrees Celsius. So this point B, it is subcooled liquid. Okay, so we'll draw the TH diagram for this and then we'll apply the equation. So I'll write down the question, sub question number 6. What is sub question number 6? We have to find mass flow rate of steam. Okay, so for this I'll draw TH diagram. Okay, now the process will be like this. Point A temperature, what is that? Saturation temperature. It is 100 degrees Celsius. So steam is entering at 100 and at exit the steam is at 80 degrees Celsius. So this will be, suppose for example, this is point B. Okay, so what equation we have to use? Rate at which air receives the heat. Okay, I'll write down the equation. Rate at which air receives heat is equal to rate at which steam gives away the heat. We have written this equation from first law, which is energy balance. What is meaning of this statement? Understand that. We'll see the diagram and understand that part. Okay, so if you observe that diagram, what statement we have written? Rate at which air receives the heat. Okay, so its temperature increases from 15 to 50. Okay, so that will be Q dot A, and that value we have already calculated. What is that value? 53.49. So left hand side value will be 53.49. Next, on right hand side we have rate at which steam gives away the heat. Now steam is flowing inside this tube, so that steam, it will give the heat to the air. Okay, so whatever this Q dot A is there, that can be equated to this Q dot A given by the steam. Okay, so same thing I have done. So I'll write down on the left hand side Q dot A value. Okay, so on left hand side, that Q dot A value, it will be 53.49 equal to, right hand side we have rate at which steam gives away the heat. What is the rate over here? It will be mass of the steam which we have to calculate. Okay, this has been asked in the question. What should be the rate of steam supplied, mass flow rate? So m dot S into enthalpy difference. Okay, what is the higher enthalpy here? See, this steam is at saturated vapor. It gives away the heat and gets converted into subcooled liquid. So higher enthalpy will be HA. So in bracket I'll write down higher enthalpy HA minus HB. Okay, so equal to m dot S. What is HA? HA will be Hg. Why? Because it is saturated vapor. So Hg at 100 degrees Celsius. I'll write down the value. HA is Hg at 100 degrees Celsius minus, what will be this HB value? It will be HF at 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, this will be in bracket. So this part is in bracket and this is also in bracket. HF minus Cp of liquid in bracket Tsat minus T sub. Okay, so you have to write down this value. So we'll go to the steam table now. Now in case of steam table, what values we have to read? Hg at 100. Okay, so this is temperature table, 100 degrees Celsius, we have to read Hg value. So we'll go to the 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, this is 100 degrees Celsius. What is Hg value for 100 degrees Celsius? 2676. Okay, and next it was HF at 100 degrees Celsius. So HF at 100 is 419.1 plus Cp of liquid. What is liquid? Water. So what is the Cp of water? 4.187 into Tsat minus T sub. Okay, those values we already have. So we'll go back to the numerical. Equal to mass flow rate of steam, which we have to calculate in bracket. Hg at 100 degrees Celsius, it is 2676 minus HF at 100 degrees Celsius. From steam table we got this value 419.1 minus Cp of liquid which is water, it is 4.187 kilojoule per kg Kelvin in bracket Tsat, which is 100 and T sub 80. Left hand side we have 53.49. So we can calculate mass flow rate of steam. M dot S is equal to 0.02285 kg per second. So we can convert this in kg per hour. So mass flow rate of steam is equal to 82.269 kg per hour. Now what is meaning of this? Understand it with the help of diagram. Okay, so what we have found out over here is, suppose this is the heating coil. In the heating coil we are supplying steam. What is the condition of steam? 100 degrees Celsius saturated vapor, and it comes out as subcooled liquid which is at 80 degrees Celsius temperature. Okay, now what should be the mass flow rate of steam maintained in this heating coil so that the temperature of air, which is at 15 degrees Celsius, can be increased to 50 degrees Celsius. So that mass flow rate of steam we have calculated. Now we'll see the TS diagram again. There the process arrow we can define. Okay, it starts from A. Okay, and this is the way in which you will get the process. Okay, A is converted to B. Saturated steam is at entry, and at exit we get subcooled liquid.